Hi, friends and family. Welcome to our home again. I'm so glad you're here with us today. I'm going to start out first inside here with my segment, which will be the upstairs landing here, and then downstairs too, where I have a shelf down there with lots of cute little collectibles on that also. So after that, Norm is excited to show you this year's window display. I think it turned out really sweet. So I hope you'll stay tuned and get to see that too. We hope your December so far has been very blessed. Thank you again for being with us all year long. We appreciate all of you so much. We hope your December has been very nice so far. I know that there are some parts of the country that have certainly had some terrible weather. Here in Minnesota, it has been very mild and no snow yet. So that's kind of a disappointment for the atmosphere for Christmas, but we're kind of not minding, in a way, having anything to shovel yet. But we hope things get much better for those of you that have had some rough weather. We're sorry that you've had to experience that. We're wishing you a wonderful Christmas coming up very soon here. We are slow at getting the kitchen and dining room done, but we'll do our best to have that for closer to Christmas, and you may want to watch it even between Christmas and New Year's week. There'll be something there available for you. So that's the situation right now. We're glad that you're here today to see this video. Thank you so much. I wanted to show you this fun tree first. We decided, a very good friend, Kim, in Ohio, who has her own YouTube channel. She is a homesteader, and I have mentioned that we're good friends and talk every day. She just happened to mention how much she loved our vintage ceramic lava tree that I've shown you several years now. And she said if you ever want to sell it, to let her know. Well, I talked it over with Norm. We both felt that we have had it for a long time. We've enjoyed it. We've got lots of nice videos to show it. So I wanted to sell it to her because I can't think of a nicer person that is going to enjoy it as much as she will. So that's what we did, and she's thrilled, and she has shown it in her videos. So I said to Norm, I would love a small silver tree. Or is this considered aluminum, Norm? These little trees? Probably. So I did tell Norm that if he could just go over to Target and get one for only $10. Wow, I thought that was a steal. They had other colors too, I guess. Maybe a gold one and maybe a green one. But I wanted the silver because I wanted all these little bulbs to show up nicely, which they really do. I had a lot of fun with some of the tiny little ornaments that we happen to have purchased quite a few years back for a small vintage aluminum tree that we had. I did go out and look at the stores, and I think it was at Menards, I found a couple of packages of the glitter ones. So they are plastic, but a lot of these actually are glass, like that one and that one. You can tell by the tops of them whether they're glass or not, usually, but it didn't matter to me. It was kind of hard to find some tiny bulbs right now. But I had so much fun. Norm was absolutely surprised at how many bulbs I got on. They slid over the wires where I could push them on. No hooks on any of these. They just slid on these skinny wires very easily, so I could push some way in the middle. There's a pretty one in there that's glass. And one back there that's gold. Another patriotic looking one. Yeah, so that was really fun. And I did show, I believe, this tiny little beaded garland that came in a little package for maybe 50 cents or something, $1, I forget, at a Family Pathways. And then, because we didn't have a star, I looked on Amazon and I found a package of what seemed like would be the right size. It came in a bigger size too, and you'd get a package of a silver one, a red one, and the gold one, and I wanted the gold one. So that just slipped on the top wire nicely too. It would be wonderful if we could find a tiny little or two, and you can on Amazon. We were looking up little spotlights for miniature trees. They do have them, but we didn't get around to picking out something. So it's fine. It's pretty lit up here with the top light on. These two adorable kids I just found this month at the Goodwill. And of course, I can't remember all prices of things and whether or not I had my senior discount that day, but I zoomed right on them when I walked in the door. I could not believe that somebody had not purchased them yet. And I don't know either what it says on the bottom, if anything, but they are a good size. This is an angel that I thrifted. You saw that in a video too when I was thrifting at a Family Pathways in North Branch, Minnesota. So I got her. I think she was only like $2. So that was really fun. These two crazy kids, it's a musical one. I found them last year, but I may have found them too late to be in a video, so I don't know that you've seen them yet. Aren't they cute? And I did raise the tree up. It's sitting on a bowl, so I just put a little cloth over the top of the bowl, but I had to get the kids underneath it a little bit. It would have been too hard if I hadn't raised it up. So I hope you think that's fun. I absolutely love it. Norm loves it. And we don't have to store the big fancy lava tree. It's very, fragile, and you have to be very careful storing it. I've shown you these very lovely vintage chalkware, mostly. This beautiful angel in such bold colors. Could be more ceramic. He's a little heavier. I just love that one. But most of them are probably more considered chalkware, so I have shown them to you for quite a few years now, and I find it very hard to not pick up ones when I find them and they're in good shape and good price. This girl, I think, is just so sweet. She has the prettiest eyes of any of them. A lot of them look kind of funny like that, like they're scared. Yeah, that is weird that they didn't. Well, she's kind of like a deer in headlights too, huh? But she's very cute. It's quite the green eyes there, and she's really sweet. I like her too. That's another favorite of mine. And it's always fun to hang a star there. It works really well. And I did show you this last year. I don't remember where I found that. But I sure like it. It is so neat in plastic canvas. When they leave, a lot of the area open, it looks so lacy. So I thought I would put that up here this year. And I did show that clock. I just realized that I didn't have the camera light on when I was showing the tree to you, which is fine. It's just I wanted to show you what I did in the video, the YouTube short video that made it sparkle. So that's what made it sparkle more. That turned out fun. I was very happy how that video worked out. People seemed to like it. I also wanted to share with you that I just found this box of tiny ornaments. Yes, it is glass. Oh, wow. I've never heard of 180 degrees, but I just thought this package was so cute that I decided to leave them in the package just to show you. We found these at the Shalom thrift store, 2009, so it's not old, but it's, yeah, look at that, $11.95 original sticker. Wow, I got this for like $1. I had already had the tree decorated when I found this box of ornaments, and they are much smaller than a lot of these, much tinier, so I may use some of them next year. Over here on my brother's bookcase that we inherited, I still have some radios left there. 2 red and 2 green ones downstairs in the living room, as I did show you. So these are just some leftover ones. We got quite a variety. I wanted to put the rest of the angels that some possibly might have been in the living room across the top of the living room shelf over the fireplace. I had room for more this size angel and that one. These 3, the blue, the orange, and the pink one, very sweet set. I'm not sure where I used to show those, but maybe they were in the living room too. But anyways, I just wanted a collection up here too. And I put some red glass vintage votives that I just thrifted. I don't know, it was like 5 of them for $4 that I just found at one of the thrift stores. I couldn't believe the price. Yep, that was quite a deal. And just put another little candle greenery ring on them and a little bit of greenery on top of the clock. I think that gives a nice look. And a fruit candle ring I'm using as a wreath over there. As I've mentioned, I just love the fruit ones. Fruit and nuts. That's a pretty lush looking one. I loved finding that at the thrift stores. And I will leave the price of this border paper. It's a heavy paper, and Norm just helped me put it up. On the edge here, there was a scalloped piece of trim on this bookcase, only on the top shelf, not on these. So I just found it last week, a bag of these rolled up, and I'll put the price that I paid for it. There was a little teeny tiny word on the end of each strip. And this is just a partial strip here. The strips are actually longer. I have no idea. and I just didn't get around to looking it up yet, trying to find it, but it said trend with a copyright, tiny little word in one of the corners there where we did happen to cut it off. The bookcase trim in the front actually does dip down, so we had to cut it to cover up the wood. Otherwise that might have looked a little bit funny with a piece of wood showing there. So I was really tickled. I mean, there's not enough strips in the bag to do like all of my kitchen shelving, no way. And I didn't know if I wanted to attempt any more on here. I didn't think it was necessary. Norm thought that turned out pretty cute, so we just used a few pieces all across, stuck it on the wood, of two-face tape by Scotch. Yeah, so that turned out really cute. So he thought it was very fun, and so I hope you like how that turned out. Again, this year I decided that I really do enjoy my Santa mugs on this shelf. I have put miniatures up here in years past, but this is truly my favorite display. And I maybe have had the miniature ones up on the very top edge before, but this time I thought it would be very fun to squeeze them in between the big mugs where I could. The handles stick out so much on the big mugs that it really wasn't possible to put them in between every mug, and I didn't have enough anyways. Well, I shouldn't say that because I have a whole package of these. Those, I don't know if those are Holt-Howard or just something similar to Holt-Howard ones. Those are similar too, but I do have an entire package of those. So I could have more up there, but like I say, it just wasn't possible to squeeze them in. So what I thought would be very fun was to put a bunch of those remote controlled votives in the large Santa mugs and the two thrifted green votives up here. They may be vintage, I don't know. They kind of have a nice little foot on them. I happen to find two of them, not the same year. So let me see if I can hold the camera steady here and get out this little remote control and watch what happens. I'm going to try to get them all to come on at once with this remote, but I tried it once already and I think the top mugs weren't getting the signal, so I'm standing up here higher to see if I can get all of them on at the same time. Well, that took 2 tries. But it does work. And I can shut them all off very easily. Isn't that fun? I really like those, and I think that's really neat. I'm going to turn the light off up above too to see what kind of effect we have. Wow, that's what it looks like with no light on. It is, what time? Maybe about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a gray day, so we're not getting bright light coming in our patio door and in our front picture window. So it's pretty dark up here right now. I really think it's fun to put the candles in there too. We'll have to do that for Christmas Eve. This year I thought it would be really fun to put some glitzy garland up the railing. That is a very soft garland that you can actually put your hand on if you want to use the railing. It could get a little bit messed up if you weren't gentle, but it wouldn't work very well with popcorn or candy. Years ago, I used to drape the old-fashioned candy strands all the way up the railing, and that even sometimes kind of irritated Norm too, because we both like to use the handrail. It's best at our age, that's for sure, especially in the middle of the night. But I thought it would be fun for a little while to have this on. And so just last weekend, Michael's had 70% off a lot of their Christmas stuff. So I found this bow. It was in the package and quite squashed, and I didn't realize how huge it is. It is really, really a big bow, and I had no idea in the package that it had 4 streamers on it. So it's fun. Norm really likes it. I've not had any more than one big bow for our Christmas decorations that I always put every year on the fireplace mantle center. So this was kind of a fun change, and all these red ball ornaments could have gone on the tree, but I stole all of them too. And I hung up a stocking for Melissa and Norm and I, and sadly we don't have one there for my brother this year again. But I was wondering if you could tell which one is Norm's stocking. Let's look at the long, very narrow shelf down here that we got at Wild Vintage Collective last year. I've always had an abundance of tiny little thrifted figurines in that. This year I was looking for somewhere to display the darling little Avon bottles that I started collecting many years ago. I was finding the candle or the stocking or the Santas, and also the soldier, and I would just put some yellow food coloring and some water to fill the soldiers. And with Santa, I decided just this month to fill him only up to his neck for his red outfit and not up onto his head, because it makes his face red, which doesn't look good at all. They should have painted his face pink, then the whole thing would have worked, to have some red coloring in there. And I just found at the Family Pathways in Lindstrom the bells. I didn't even know they existed. So that was a new find. They were $3 for 3 different bottles there, each one. I thought it was a good deal. I picked up another boot or stocking, if that's what you want to call it, the bells, and I believe another candle. All of them there in Lindstrom, Minnesota. And I just found this half price Christmas at Family Pathways just this week. So cute. I can't remember how much it was, but I'll put a little note by it so you can tell how cheap I got that. I thought it was in very nice condition, and it has a nice little needlepoint center there. I know it's very kitschy, but I liked it. So down here, what I asked Norm to help me with, and he just whipped it out in no time. I think he spent just a half an hour maybe putzing. But I said, you know, I have an idea. I would love to see if we have a large roll of Christmas wrapping paper that might work for the background of this, because you could see through to our wall. And so he looked up in the rafters where we have some very large rolls of the wrapping paper, and we decided this was pretty much the only one that was going to work because it was such a small pattern. But what was so fun is that the stripes really helped guide us cut it. But I think it turned out very cute. It's nice bright green and red and white snowflakes, trees. Looks like a sweater print, doesn't it? Isn't that funny? Yeah, so I like it. I think it turned out really cute, and I was happy that he did that for me very quickly. He's so accommodating. So you have seen most of these little items. Last year probably was the only year I had this shelf to show you all the tiny things on. So these two are new. I think they were both from Shalom. I know the little girl is from Shalom thrift store in Cambridge, Minnesota. I can't remember for sure. I think this might have been a second trip that I picked up the darling little snowman. I love his star eyes. So all these other things, oh, except him. Behave now, camera. You can do it. That is a tiny, tiny, very detailed plastic teddy bear. That could be a little Hallmark item. I just thought he was sweet, so I picked him up for practically nothing. And I've always enjoyed showing you this very detailed nativity that is made in Italy. It is a plastic, but very beautiful detail. So I hope that's showing well. And there's another little tiny nativity up here, the tiniest one we have. It is so small. These are sweet. We got them last year. Darling set from the Goodwill. Not chipped anywhere. Sweet little elves. Nice porcelain. And I've had those for quite a while. You've seen those, but she is new. I just got her half price too. She has an adorable little doggy on a leash, and she may have had a boyfriend, caroler. She has holly on the top of her hat, which you can't see right now. And she was in the Christmas area half price, so she might have been marked something like $2.50, but I can put the price on her there too for you to see. So I hope you like this crazy paper. I forgot there is one more new thing. I'll put the light on in here so you can see. I just thrifted this glass votive holder, and I took the candle out of it because I didn't want to burn it. And I'm able to put a little battery votive in there, so it does light up nice. It's glass, and on the other side are some red ornaments or a candy cane. It's got all kinds of little ornament things painted on it. So that is the last new item here. So that's how that looks lit up. It's a different little piece I've never seen before. I'm sure it's pretty new.
Good evening, everybody. It's Norm, and this is my 2023 Christmas window. And it is a little different than what I've normally done. I've enlisted Peggy in supplying me with some of her crazy snow people, and I think that works pretty good. As I mentioned before, in the Halloween window, my back door now swings out like a kitchen cupboard would. And by changing the hinge on it and doing that this spring, it allowed me to put fabric over the door and actually be able to drape it over, which is a lot easier. I decided to actually drill holes through the door, since it's going to be covered up with a neck sheet of whatever I decide to put over it, fabric or whatever. So this way I can get all the cords going straight through the wood door and all plugged in on the back side, so you don't have to see all these ugly cords hanging down. I think that turned out to be a pretty good idea. And these are some vintage tree toppers I've collected over the years. And first of all, starting over here, it's a honeycomb wreath, and that opens up on both sides of it. And what I've done is I have started collecting some of these for the different holidays, Thanksgiving and Halloween. I think they're kind of neat, and I'll see them in antique shops, and sometimes they're brand new in the bag, so I thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to collect. But anyway, the tree toppers are all plugged in. I got a couple here that are blinking. This one in the upper middle, I actually have two like that, and it's really a very pretty one. And I like the one over here that's mostly green, and then the red flowers on it and the red lights. That really stands out. Over here on the next wall, I've got a small wreath with a couple of bells hanging down. And that cord is actually going out through the back side, so you kind of end up seeing that, but not much. And then, of course, I've got some of my blow mold vintage Christmas trees. I've got two of these large ones over here and over on the other side. And of course a smaller one in the middle. I've actually got three of the large ones I've collected over the years, so that's kind of nice. And down below, the tree toppers are again different than what I've had before. This one in the middle is pretty elaborate. I've got one of my vintage blow molds over here. It's a snowman that I found recently. He's a little different than a couple of the other ones I have. And then we come into all these crocheted snow people. Peggy says originally these were possibly kits, and she believes these are vintage ones. They're styrofoam balls. Some are crocheted and some are knitted. I'm not an expert in what's what, so don't quote me on any of that. But anyway, it's they're kind of neat. And I just like it. I think it's a little different than what I've done before. I've had Rosbro candy toy items before for Halloween and for Christmas and Easter. Had a big display if you look at our other videos from years gone by. And right now it's about 35 degrees out, and we just haven't had any snow yet, and they're predicting that we're going to have a green Christmas this year for 2023. That's kind of disgusting for the state of Minnesota. We're known for our snowstorms, and we're pretty hardy people. You get the old snow blower out and spend an hour cleaning out the driveway, and then the next morning you go do it again. But that's life in Minnesota. These are a couple ceramic pieces Peggy had. They're kind of cute. And this sleigh Peggy found at a thrift store. Look at all the bells on it. It's got little 3 brass bells on each side and the back, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them down in the front. So she thought it was kind of neat, and she had these snowmen, and then I asked her if she had any little dog we could put in the back so he's not all alone. And she could probably tell you a little bit more about who they are and whatnot. But yeah, there's a couple more snowmen in the back. A little guy there leaning up against the tree. And we got a big fat man one back there. He looks like he's running out of pipe or running out of a cigar. It's not very big anymore. Anyway, these guys are kind of funny. And this fabric I got, I like it. It looks just like snow. It's hard to get stuff to stand up on it because it's so fluffy, but it works pretty good. Back behind the snow people, Peggy has a couple little metal, to me they look like trees. Peggy thought they could maybe make it look like a hedge or something, just to well, add a little more feature to the stepped up area here of the two-level display that I have. There's another one over here. And then from Hobby Lobby, last year Peggy bought this tree. It's acrylic, and it has a battery and some lights in the base, so when you turn it on, it shoots some different colors up through the branches. It looks kind of neat. And so out here wouldn't be practical to be using that, because I leave this on all night for neighbors to come by and take a look at the window, like I do for the Halloween, and offer them a little joy that we put out. So that's how the windows turned out. And of course over here is my post that I have strung red, green, and white lights, but I disconnected the white lights. I thought after I had it on there they were too much. This is a decoration we bought years ago from Swank Interiors. Alan down there, he was a proprietor, had it, and his shop was so cool, full of mid-century modern retro items, and that's where we bought our 8-foot aluminum Christmas tree. It was from Alan. And this is looks like it's a plastic foil decoration, very bright and very big. It takes up half of our width of our door here. I'm going to get up on the last step here. I had to get back off the step to just be able to get it all in. You can see it's very flexible. It just folds around flat, and that's how you can store it. And we've seen these on the internet, and they look like they're going for some pretty good prices, but they're all over the place. But anyway, it really looks good, and we've got a storm door here with a big glass pane in it, so it looks nice and it's protected from the weather. And it is two-sided, so you can actually hang it up in the ceiling and have it spin it around, and it'll be three-dimensional. So it's getting a little windy out here. You can see it moving a little bit, but I'm going to back off one more time. So that's the story of this decoration we have, and it really stands out from the street, that's for sure. Anyway, it's cold out here, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to have a cup of hot cocoa and some marshmallows and just sit down and sip that and listen to some Christmas music or watch a Christmas Hallmark movie on the TV. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So God bless you all and have a good night.